Hey guys, welcome to another training session. Yeah guys, today will be a very hard training session, a strengthening and conditioning exercise which will really flatten you after you've done with it. And what I'm going to do now is what I've basically done previously, simply a kettlebell swing strengthening and conditioning. And in my last video, which is about 6 or 7 months ago, I did a kettlebell swing session with 200 reps. Now, my max with this 20 kg kettlebell is now about 250, and today I'm trying to go for 300. Now, this will not only build your core, not only build your legs, your glutes, your hamstrings, and your calves and everything else, but it's also a massive cardio workout, and you will feel it. And you will get weaker and weaker as the training session goes on. And this will be quite a long video, and for you guys, if you don't want to waste your time and watch it from the very beginning to the very end, absolutely no problem. Just make sure that you see me well, doing a little bit of it at least, or at least. And watch the end of the video to make sure that I really did the 300 reps, the 300 repetitions. This is maybe one of the best exercises for building your core, besides doing toes to the bar, also deadlifting, sit-ups and crunches, farmer's walks, and another exercise I wanted to show you today originally, but I couldn't because I'm still a bit, well, not injured, but still fatigued here in my left forearm due to the shoulder training session I didn't show you guys, which was brutal. But I will repeat it the next week, and then you can see what I mean by brutal. However, I like this one more for strengthening your core than sit-ups or crunches, because sit-ups or crunches are basically finishers in my eyes. Now, if you are already a guy who has mass and who has big abs, but which do not show simply because you have a layer of fat on top of them, like I have right now, what sit-ups will do and crunches will do is, especially the sit-ups, is make your abs even bigger, make them more stand out. And then you have a problem in terms of looks, because then your abs are pulled out more, stand out more than your chest, which means that you have to do more chest training in order to keep the symmetry. So for me, sit-ups, crunches and everything else you're doing on the floor is basically only a finisher and not made for people who are already massive or have no trouble gaining mass. Now, I have a friend, for example, who is the exact opposite of me. He's not having problems staying lean all the time, but he's got the problem of actually gaining weight, gaining mass. So for him, sit-ups and crunches are a good exercise to begin with, but not for me. For me, these are only finishers, and honestly, if you do the kettlebell swings for as long as you can, you won't need any finishing touches on your workout whatsoever, because you will be done. Now make sure that you also have enough water and that you are not completely doing this on an empty stomach, because otherwise you might lose your consciousness in the process, because this is a tough one. This is no joke, guys. And you can do it with shoes on, or you can do it barefoot. This time I'm doing it barefoot, simply to have a better stand. And yeah, I would say let's keep going. Let's go for the first 20 or 30, depending, and then we see. Now these were 40, guys. And you can see that my heart rate is already up, extremely up. Now make sure to use a heavy weight on this exercise, because kettlebell swings with only 2 kg, so like 4 or 5 pounds, it doesn't get you anywhere. Actually, it's a full body exercise, but the most of it is really felt in your core. It's also good for your traps, by the way, simply because you have to control the weight up and down, so you activate your traps at the same time. Now these were 40, guys. Now imagine we still have to do about 10 times more than that. A little bit less, luckily. Now the first set is really a set where you can go all out and do as many as you can. But afterwards, you have to slow it down, simply to keep your cardiovascular system going and not killed. Because once you reach a point where you can't anymore due to your cardiovascular system, you will go to the toilet or to the sink and throw up. That's a tough exercise, guys. That's nothing for people who have no guts. So let me just see whether I can do 20 or 10. I just go by the feel. So 60. And now, guys, I have to go with the smaller steps. There's no way I'm doing more than 10 right now. That was basically my last strong set. See the enormous decline? You go from 40 in your first set to 20 in your second. Now it will be only 10s and maybe even later on only 5s. Set of 5s. And don't underestimate the fact that if you exaggerate, you will throw up. Believe me, it happened to me, so I'm warning you guys. So exactly 5 times more than this, that's a huge challenge. But once you reach the 100, you get motivated from there. And especially this video right now is a motivation for me, because I know how tough it is, and I know afterwards you simply wanna lie in bed and do nothing for the rest of the day. So 70. Ah. $80. So you see guys, this is very easy to do with only 2 kg. But if you have those 20 kgs in your hands, that's a whole different story. And the way down is worse than the way up, because when it comes down, it has gravity on its side. So in order for you to slow it down, you do not only have to simply hold the weight in your hands, but also fight gravity so that it comes down slowly. Otherwise you're not doing the exercise in proper form and therefore won't benefit from it. I will show you 2 or 3 other core exercises which are still not so common. Maybe this is actually the most common one, the most widespread, but they are all better in my eyes than only doing crunches or sit-ups. See guys? I should have done more than 10, but I wanted to speed up the process for you guys, so I did 20. I exaggerated and I had to throw up. Luckily, you weren't able to see me, because I don't want to show you such disgusting things. So I only exaggerated by 10, and that was the result, guys. But now you saw it live, and now you're knowing what you're up to or what you're up against when you're doing the same exercise at home. So luckily we reached our first milestone, so to speak, the 100. Now there's 200 more left. So let's just do 10. 110. And if you think that your core aches extremely during the exercise, I can tell you that it will even ache more once you are done with it. So for the day you did the kettlebell swing, and for the 2 days afterwards, I would say, you will still feel it. See, and the beauty about this one is too, which you can hear by my breathing, is that your heart rate does not really spike extremely and then comes crashing down. Now, once it's spiked, it stays there for a while. So this is perfect HIIT training, perfect high intensity interval training, because you keep that afterburning. So 120. Honestly, I think I couldn't do the 300 without you guys. Although I'm not seeing you, I'm imagining that someone is right now watching me and motivating me. So I did the 250, I think. Maybe it was only 230, but I think it was 250. And now I'm gonna do 300 on record. But you will see me, of course, get weaker and weaker and weaker the closer we come to our goal. One 140. And now it's really starting to ache. Yeah, it really does. So what you can also expect from this exercise is that you will have a faster digestion for the next 48 hours. Let's do the 150 and reach the halfway point. So we reached the halfway point. Guys, stick with me. We're almost done. Oh. So never do this when you're full and you've eaten a lot, because this won't allow you to perform on your highest level. As I said, just eat a little bit of carbs, a little bit of protein, a little bit of fat, maybe just a sandwich, nothing more, just to make sure that you have some energy, some quick recruitable energy, so to speak, for you not to pass out. So 160. So all, besides of one exercise, okay? Besides of one exercise, the next core exercises I'm going to show you all need some sort of equipment, okay? Some sort of weight or even some sort of resistance. And before I tell you what my favorite body weight core exercises are, without any equipment whatsoever, just your body weight, I'm going to show you all the exercises I like with resistance. There are so many great bodyweight exercises for your core, but believe me, once you get to know other exercises than crunches and sit-ups, you won't do them so often anymore. And when it comes to sort of sit-up machines or ab machines, like this cheap one my father here is using, I can definitely say that I do not recommend any ab machine whatsoever. I think they destroy more than they actually build. I think they do not really focus that much on the core itself, and rather on your back and on your legs. And yeah, they are simply not needed. I think your core, especially your abs and as I said, the obliques, are maybe the only two muscle groups that do not really need a machine in order for you to really make them shine or show. Use free weights or use your body weight only. But I don't see really a good machine for training your core. There is one exception maybe, but this is not an ab machine. This is simply the tricep push-down tower, so to speak, where you grab the rope, attached to a pulley of course, then you stack the weight. If it's a plate loaded one, you have to put the plates on the pin, of course, on the loading pin. Otherwise, you simply put the stick in there where you want the weight to be, and your knee in front of the tower with the rope and the pulley a bit extended from you, and you then go down with the weight and go up slowly. This is also what Arnold Schwarzenegger and other bodybuilders did. This is sort of maybe the only type of machine that could help you somehow. But it's first, not an ab machine, and second, I think it's basically the same than doing this one. That's basically the same. By the feel of things, because I did it myself twice or three times in my life, quite extensively actually, I think this replicates what Arnold Schwarzenegger and other bodybuilders or powerlifters are doing on this tricep pushdown machine, on the cable tower. Yeah, so let's go to the 170. $180. So you see, it's also a coordination exercise. You have to be stable on your feet all the time. Then everything in one exercise. $190. So we have almost 2/3 done. Stick with me. And now we're reaching a point where you yourself and your body doesn't want to anymore. Now it takes guts to reach the point of 100, let alone 150, but going to 2000, yes, of course. Now, going to 200 is completely different. That's really pushing yourself beyond everything you really want to do, because nobody really wants to do more than 150. 150 reps, that's the max. Now it's not really enjoyable anymore. The only thing that makes me enjoy this one here is because I'm feeling the contraction and I'm feeling my cardio going up and stuff like that. But it's torture basically from now on. Physically and also psychologically, because I'm already thinking about taking a shower. Or lying in the bathtub. So yeah, let's reach the 200 mark, guys. And I'm also now seeing that my body wants to throw up. So now we really have to be careful in order to make it properly beyond 200 and reach our goal of 300. Yes. So now I'm reminding myself of how far I've come so far in this exercise. I'm trying to motivate myself with all the things I still have in me, but you see that I'm close to throwing up again. But we do not worry so much about this, because if it happens anyway. Now it's about our goal. How do we still manage to do 100 more of this stuff here? Everything's getting tired. All the muscles, all the supporting muscles, so to speak, are weakening as well. Plus, now the pain in your core area. Well, the best thing is you simply keep going. You rest as long as you need to, and then you do what you need to do. $210. And you can see now that a lot of my muscles are shaking. That's because all the short-term sugar is now used or was used and is still not available, or is not available anymore for my body. Which is so important, or which is why it's so important that you eat a bit before you do this exercise, because otherwise you will pass out when you push yourself to the limit. So 220. And the good thing about this one here is really that you cannot really injure yourself easily with this exercise. The only thing that can happen is that you are not able to continue, but there's no machine that could mess your body up or hurt your nerves, your muscle fibers, stuff like that. I mean, the only thing that could really happen is when you pass out, that the weight falls down on you. Which is why I say it again, eat a little bit of carbs. If you have grape sugar lying in front of you and you feel that you are about to pass out, grab some grape sugar and chew it a little bit. Lick it a little bit while it's in your mouth, and you will soon feel better. Because now all the insulin is spiking, right? So when your insulin spikes, it tells your body that you should eat. And that is the problem when you want to lose fat, right? So when you want to lose weight in general. We are so, because of nature, so happy when we eat anything related to carbs, whether it be sugar itself, or wheat, or rice, or potatoes, or anything like that. Because once we have accomplished something in nature, like hunting down a wild animal, it goes to these old days, back to these old days. Our body needed more energy in order to survive, and therefore the insulin spiked. So whatever food that was available led then to weight gain and strength gain while your insulin was spiked. Because if your insulin is very high, you're able to absorb more nutrients than normally. If your insulin is very low, you cannot absorb a lot of nutrients, or not as much of nutrients as when your insulin is up there in level. And yeah, that's it. So we are naturally, because of our past, prone to eat a lot whenever we feel like our blood sugar is very low. What we forget, however, is that your blood sugar comes back naturally once you rest. So that is something that a lot of people don't understand. When you want to lose weight, especially if you want to lose fat, you shouldn't eat carbohydrates simply because your insulin is spiking right now and you feel weak. That's part of the progress. What's better is that you eat protein instead of carbs in order for you to keep your muscle mass and to even gain more muscle mass. So pre-workout, carbs are absolutely fine. Post-workout, not so much if you really want to lose weight and lose body fat. Let's go to 230. No, that was not 240. Jesus Christ. Staying hydrated is more important. Because your body can naturally handle scarcity in carbohydrates for a long time. When I was doing my basic military service in the German army, there was 1 week of training where they didn't give us any type of food whatsoever, and only water. It was in the woods, in the forest, and the only thing we got, despite harsh training, despite the lack of sleep, despite everything that was really stressing you out, so to speak, the only thing we got was water. So we were basically living on 0 calories for 7 days. And of course there were times where your insulin spiked and where you felt weak. But then again, when you rested for half an hour or an hour, and you then went back to your martials training whatsoever, the feeling of weakness was gone. So in our modern day and age, we forget about these things, and you only get remembered by it when you do things like doing military service, doing sports training on an elite level with a nutritionist, for example, and all that kind of stuff, but you won't be able to see it yourself if you're not dealing with anything like that. And that is why it's so dangerous for the guys who inject insulin, because they spike their insulin level to an abnormal degree that they need to eat some grape sugar, drink soda, drink lemonade, eat a lot of carbs in order for them not to pass out or to pass away even. But for guys who do not do this, they don't need any of that. They simply need to rest and drink some water, because otherwise I wouldn't have survived during this extreme week in my military times. So let's go to 250. $250, great. No, my traps are as tired as my core, believe it or not. So I'm very proud of myself. I can say I really been here. It wasn't 245 or 240 or 230. It was 250, and it will become 300. And I think honestly more than 300 is not necessary, because how much of trap muscles and abs and obliques, how much muscle mass and how strong must they be do you need in order for you to make it above 300 in a time frame of, let me see how long, yeah, 3/4 of an hour about is now the length of this training session. So you see, everything slowed down. I mean, of course, I was talking a lot. I wanted to give you some very good information, but I also needed the rest anyway, so. $270. Oh God, cannot believe how my body feels right now. We're almost done, guys. It's just 30 more. Now, instead of 10, oh, 280. So now I'm really using, believe me or not, each and every muscle in my body, from my toes up to my traps, maybe even my cheeks, I don't know, to get it up there. My arms alone wouldn't be able to perform this exercise right now. So, and not only that, my core is done, my arms are done, my hands are almost done, which is good that I have a decent grip strength, which also comes in handy when you're dealing with kettlebells in general, no matter the exercise. My glutes are done, my hamstrings are done, my calves are about to split. I'm a wreck today. But I said to myself, yeah, why not show maybe the most tiring core exercise of all. Once again, give you some more explanations, more information on that topic, just for you to maybe get interested in training this type of exercise and putting this sit-up stuff and crunches stuff away for a while. So 290, guys. And only 10 more left. Now we're at 290. There's only 10 more. And I'm so happy, guys. I'm so happy that I made it. I'm so happy that I made it. That was a bit risky for me to say go up to 300, because last time I knew how I felt going up to 250 about, and I knew back then that I'm almost as tired as I now am, but of course now it's even worse. So if my face pales a bit, that's absolutely normal, guys. That's an exhaustion of your body. That's really like going for a triple of your 90%, 95% 1 rep max deadlift. Yeah, so doing a triple or even a quadruple, maybe a quadruple of your 95% 1 rep max. That's how tough it is. But it's isolating more, and because you're doing more repetitions, it's also better for your cardio. So you get the better isolation and you're keeping your cardio up. So the last 10, guys, for all those who stuck with me until now, I'm absolutely grateful for that, and it was definitely worth it for you guys, because I told you a lot of information, I gave you a lot of information. And for guys who simply want to see whether I make the 300 or not, well, we have 290 right now. That is my last set of 10. And there you have the proof then. And I think honestly I couldn't do more than 300 because I'm grasping for air. Oh yes, a new personal record in this kettlebell swing hell. So thank you guys for watching it until the very end. Yes, my skin color is fading, I'm pale in my face, but there you can see that I'm not faking it. And thank you guys again for all those who really watch it from the beginning to the very end. See you the next time.